If you've reached a point in your training where you can't find anybody else around you who is higher ranking in your system that you can go to, there's a couple of things I think you need to do. First of all, maybe you need to realize that it's God's way of telling you that it's your turn to step up to the plate of leadership in that style in your area. I mean, if there's nobody else there and you want to continue that style, you're going to have to continue it. These days, fortunately, we have all types of ways where people can learn online. Now, let me be clear. I really don't recommend online learning for anybody who is not at least a black belt. I will even push it down to say brown belt level. Because I got one of my certifications for judo. One of the coaching certifications was done online. When I had to have that to qualify for the Shodan in that style. But, I wouldn't necessarily recommend going all the way through to a black belt program online and anything. What I would say is go to first degree in person, and then from there you could probably do online stuff after that. I'm sure your progress would be a lot slower because really, if you really want to be honest, I haven't been to that many organizations, but from what I've seen and talked to people, honestly, I've been in, I've probably say been in one, two, well, technically three, even though I don't really claim that I'm in Simba, because I'm not in Simba, but I've had teachers from there. Been in about three, or sort of involved in three orgs. And really, once you get to black belt in a lot of systems anyway, if it's a system that slow promotes you to black belt, I'll qualify with that. If you're slow promoted to black belt, meaning it takes about at least 5 years on average, less if you're really, really good though, but about 4 to 5 years on average. Once you get to black belt, you're pretty much on your own anyway. They don't stand over top of you anymore and make sure this is in the right place, that's in the right place. They assign you the next pattern you're going to learn as homework, and then you come back and do it. That's one of the reasons why I do that with my students to a degree now. I show it to them and work them through the motions in class, but I really expect them to practice on their own a lot. Because one, most people that train with me, I only see once a week, even though I have 2 classes. And 2, that's your future. Your future is going to be, once you get to first degree black belt, and a lot of organizations that slow promote the black belt, they're going to meet with you a couple of times on what the new material is, maybe even once. And then they're going to hand you the documentation for it, and then you're going to be expected to learn it from there on your own. Like when I went for second degree black belt in Taekwondo, my teacher gave me the books and was like, hey, come on, get to figuring it out. Get to interpreting those diagrams, buddy. And then he corrected me. Oh, no, it's supposed to be this. Oh, good. Can we walk? Let's move on to something else I want to work with you on in person. And that's how it's going to go. And, I'm glad now because it actually has helped me in my day job figure out confusing and, when I'm trying to do analysis with different documentation that, for requirements and things. Having that Taekwondo form deciphering experience has helped out. But that's also how I first learned the Nage no Kata for judo. The sensei gave me a book. It's like, we're going to go over Nage no Kata. I've seen it. It looks cool. Hey, yeah, here's the book. And not that I never went over it with people in class. I did. But he said, no, I want you to use your brain and try to figure it out first. Let me see what you got, and then we'll take it from there. It's basically empowering me to do it myself. So that's going to be your future. And so once you're at that point where it's just you, when you're going, I can't find a higher ranking person in my Fu or Ryu or whatever I'm doing, it's because it's up to you now. You're the keeper of the flame, buddy. It's time for you to step up. So what if you just can't find what you're looking for in terms of, well, you really need some kind of help? Well, what you can do, if there's nobody that's higher ranking than you in your system, and you're not at the 8th or 9th degree, where at that point, like 7th degree and up is pretty much, you know what you're doing. Everything after that is pretty much honorary. Okay. What you do, let's say you're like me, like you're at like a 4th degree. Well, I declared my own system. Actually had other people testing me. They got together and graded me. But what you can do, if you know, well, there's still concepts I don't know, and there are, you're never going to learn it all. Why don't you see if there's somebody who's higher ranking in a similar style to yours, and see if they're willing to teach you concepts? Because sometimes what you need to learn for a style, per se, that's higher level, it's not that you necessarily need the next form. You need the next level of looking at things. Like for me, it's been, I had some Q show, the pressure points, Q, so I've had some pressure points. I already had it. Some of that stuff I've had all along, didn't know it. But I really wanted to learn it and get a good way of looking at it. And figure out how to put it in my forms. So I network with people who know that. They know that thing. So they know that thing, but it's not necessary for me to change my style. But they can give me a higher level concepts that I can apply back to my root style. Or like what I would do, I was going to do this, but I'm not going to do it anymore. I don't think. Is I wanted I want that iron body training from, what is that style called? Kyokushin. So, I was like, I can see the need for that, but I would prefer to have that later in the Taekwondo sequence or whatever. But you could just drop your ego, go enroll as a white belt there while you're still doing your home style. You go cross train over there and learn what they have to offer. So basically, anytime you're cross training, you're expanding your knowledge. And this isn't even an original idea I had, because first of all, other people have done this throughout history. But I actually got the idea from, I don't know if I said this on this channel or not. It was a guy I went to high school with. He was an ninjutsu student. Okay, so he was a ninjutsu student. And I think we were Tang Soo then. It's still Taekwondo. Tang Soo still Taekwondo, whether it wants to admit it or not. So he's ninjutsu. And I'm Taekwondo. And we started talking about ideas. And then he did something. I was like, man, well, I knew that was like advanced Taekwondo, right? And then I did some stuff. And he's like, no. What you're doing is advanced. It's advanced ninjutsu. And I'm like, wait a minute. You're doing advanced Taekwondo. And I'm doing advanced ninjutsu. But this is both lower level stuff. And then we both said, oh, okay. So the style is just like, it's what it's known for or what it's based on, where you start off first. If you figure in the art of in the human endeavor of combat, right? You have the ability to punch, kick, throw, wrestle, use a handheld weapon, use a gun, heal, and understand the weaknesses of the body. So if your main thing for your style is punching, then learning to kick is advanced stuff, and wrestle and all the other stuff is advanced. If the mainstay of your style is wrestling, then the kicking, the punching, and all the other stuff is advanced. If the mainstay of your style is shooting a gun, then the physical combatives are your mainstay. If the mainstay of your style is using a weapon that's not a gun, then learning a gun would be advanced for you, or whatever. Just like with Taekwondo people, if you've really got all the forms down and you've never shot a gun before, you should sure learn to shoot a gun. Because, to me, the salute moves that you use in Wanyo, Chunjang, I would even say Kodong, because some people's Kodong has a salute. Sandmill. Let's see. Yep. Choyong. Moonmu. Sosan. Sejong and Tong Il. Well, I would say maybe not Tong Il. I would say Sosan and Sejong. Those tool patterns, those tools. When you do that salute in the beginning, a lot of that looks like what you do to cock a gun and prop it up to shoot at someone. Because that's a similar hand movement and how we had to hold the gun up when I was learning how to shoot it in the military and stuff. And when people showed me how to shoot a handgun, it's almost exactly like how you hold out your salute. And to me, it's saying, I've been shooting at this person, and then I go into the empty hand form because I'm out of ammo or I drop my gun or something, and then I start fighting. So there you go. That's how it still links back to what you're doing. So if you're the top person in your style, in your area, it's probably your turn to carry it on in that area. And with the internet and whatnot, you can just network with people in other parts of the state, in other parts of the country, in other parts of the world. They can give you feedback on how you can continue to grow. And they may be able to find a way for you to possibly set up promotions, either with their organization, or you know what, gasp horror, you may have to network with other martial artists and you guys set up your own organization in your area. Why not? All organizations that exist started from somewhere. They all had a point of origin. All styles that are out now have a point of origin. They all started somewhere. Maybe you're going to have to be the point of origin. Don't be afraid of that. Embrace it. And get out there. And one more point before I go inside. One of the more popular YouTubers made a good point. And I say it's a good point because it was pretty much what one of my teachers was telling me before he kicked me out of the nest, and it was in a good way, not a bad way. Telling me to fly on my own. It was like, do you really need to be a master and to necessarily start teaching? You have to be qualified enough to teach. Because most of the people that you're going to be teaching, the vast majority of people you're going to be teaching are going to be like white belts and lower belts anyway. So why you need to be like a 6th or 7th degree before you start teaching? Even a 4th degree. Really all you need to be is a 1st degree. And you just tell people, hey, I haven't mastered yet. I'm still learning. I'm going to teach you what I know, and maybe we can all learn together. Because most of your students, you're always going to have more beginner students than truly advanced students anyway. So if you're worried about somebody coming up to your level, it's not going to happen that often. And then if it does, then that's a chance for you to get a workout in, isn't it?